Hi, I'm Adeline Wido, and I'm the article that I chose to do for my abstract and therefore for my video presentation is called Introverts and Extroverts, Different Approaches to Life. And it was written by Lynn Eccleston, whom I believe is a psychologist. I think that was kind of implied by, it was a blog post actually, and it was written and posted to a website called apacenter.com, and that stands for the Austin Counseling and Austin Psychology and Assessment Center, rather. So I felt like it was a pretty good source to use. The article actually focuses on kind of a brief overview between introverts and extroverts as far as personality and communication style go. It starts off by saying that the article basically says that everybody's kind of heard of the terms of introvert and extrovert, but most people don't really know what they really mean. So introversion and extroversion they're actually two terms to describe how people gain or lose their energy. Introverts tend to lose energy when they're interacting with a lot of people, and extroverts seem to gain energy and get kind of pumped up by it. So it goes on to explain differences between introverts and extroverts and how they handle different situations and how it can affect understanding between introverts and extroverts. So she also does mention that everybody's kind of on a spectrum of introversion and extroversion, but people lie somewhere in the middle. There's not really anybody who's a true introvert and someone who's a true extrovert. So there are people who are kind of right in the middle, and they're called ambiverts. Introverts and extroverts. People sometimes think that introverts are shy, but that's a mistake because introverts relish in being quiet and keeping to themselves, whereas shy people tend to be uncomfortable with being shy. They're uncomfortable being quiet and being to themselves. So she talks about differences in how they communicate. Some of the more pertinent differences being that extroverts tend to be impulsive and introverts tend to have a lot of quiet reflective time before they make decisions, and extroverts tend to think out loud, which is something I definitely do. My husband tends to be the more reserved, quiet thinker. He doesn't say anything until he's come to a decision about things. The author goes on to explain, too, that introverts, here's a good example, introverts when they go out to a party or something, typically tend to need to come home and have quiet reflective time in order to gain their energy back, whereas extroverts tend to really love the party scene and they feel better when they come back from a party. She explains that if you can understand yourself and the characteristics that you tend to display, and also the characteristics of the people who we're communicating with, then it can help you make adjustments to your perceptions of their communication. I think it was really helpful, and like I mentioned, that the reason why this article was especially interesting to me is because I tend to be more aligned with the extrovert side of the scale, and my husband is definitely more aligned with the introvert side of the scale. I think I'm what I would maybe call myself an introverted extrovert, if there is such a thing, but I just think it was really helpful in learning a little bit more about communication styles and learning how to be more understanding of where people are coming from. And that's all I have to say about it.